So today I want to explore something a bit different, and that's building a pad patch by combining oscillators with a sample I recorded of a glass full of water that sounds like this. And the result sounds like this. As always, I created a few more versions for my Patreons. If you are interested, links in the description. So here I already have my sample loaded in the sampler module, and in this case I will set the polygrid to a polyphony of 8, right? So I can play up to 8 notes at the same time. This should be more than enough. Now I would like to have control over the amplitude of this sample over time. So once again I will use an envelope, and this will go also to the output. And for now I will take the sustain all the way up, so as long as I hold the note, the level will be at maximum. And now I can play this sample polyphonically. Now in this mode, repitch, the pitch of the sample will dictate also the playback speed. So higher notes will play faster and lower notes will play slower. Here I'm going to hit one high note, one low note, and you will see that the sample playback is different. The higher note will play faster. Right, you can see the two notes. Now this can be interesting, but I would like to have something a bit more granular where the playback speed doesn't change, and for this I will use the textures mode. Right, so now if I play the two notes, you will see they move together at the same rate. Right, this is 1 and 2, and you can see they play at the same speed. And now we can have some fun with the playback speed, and this will not change the pitch and the grain size, right? So if I play a few notes, you can see I can take the speed all the way down, so it runs really slowly. And we get this nice granular effect. And then with the grain size, I can change the size of the grains, which will also create this nice effect to the sound. Now in this case we will go even further and freeze the sample with this symbol here, with this button here. And now we can scan through the sample manually, right, with this control here with the sample start. And of course we will use random signals to do this for us. So I will use two sample and hold LFOs. They will generate random signals. Right, I will set them to fully smooth with this control here all the way to the right. And I will set them also to be bipolar, so they will modulate or they will control the parameters in both directions. Now I don't want them to be synced to anything, so I'm going to set them to Hertz and not to a note value, and then take the frequency or the rate quite down. And what I will also do, I will disable the retrigger. So again, they are not synced, they are not restarting at any point. So now one will modulate the scan, right? And again, this will happen in both directions. Let's do this even more, right? So this will modulate this or control this to the right and to the left. And the other one will control the grain size, and again this will be also bipolar in both directions. By the way, there is also the motion knob, this one here. This will also add movement to the playhead, but we have less control over it, so I prefer to use external signals for this. Right, and now this is how it will sound like. You can see the movement. We have multiple playheads, one for each note, so this is also polyphonic. Right, so we get lots and lots of texture. Now, modulating the modulator is always fun, so I will use the second LFO here, the grain LFO, to modulate the frequency or the rate of the first LFO. Again, just to add some more movement, let's go with about 2, let's say, not so much. And as you can hear, this sample is pretty clean and sine wave-like. right? Which is great, but I will warm it up a bit with distortion. So let's move this here. If we go here to shaper, we have distortion, and now I will add a bit. Right, something like this. I will already add a mixer after this. First of all, I would like to mix later on more layers, and also I will take this down a bit because it's quite loud now with the distortion. Right, something like this. And now with the distortion, we have a bit more to work with, more frequencies, more energy. Right, so now we can use also something like a filter. I will use this one here, the MG one. Right, let's move this actually after the mixer. Right, now we will use key tracking. In this case, I would like higher notes to be also brighter, but no need for resonance. And now we can shape the timbre even more. Right, so again, I will use another envelope to control this filter. Let's call this filter, and this will be the amplitude. Right, so now I can set the filter envelope to control it, to open it over time, maybe change the settings a bit, so longer attack. Right, longer decay, maybe lower sustain, so when the note sustain, the sound will be actually darker, and more release a bit. Right, maybe we can have also on the amp envelope a bit more attack and more release. Right, and now we can add more layer to this with something like the pulse oscillator. Right, I will send this to the mixer, and for now I will take the level all the way down so I can mix it in as another layer. Right, so I will play something and then start bringing the level up. Maybe modulate the filter here a bit more with the envelope. Something like this. And now I can add here stereo detuning to the pulse wave. So it's so it's a bit wider with more movement. And I will also add an LFO to modulate the pulse width, right, of this LFO. Again, I would like it to be bipolar, so it will move in both directions. Add some modulation. Again, set it to hertz. I don't want it synced to anything. I want this to be free running to get lots and lots of movement, maybe something slower. And again, deactivate the retrigger so it never restarts in any case. All right, let's listen to this a bit. Right, so we have another layer and the texture from our sample. Let's add even another one with the sub oscillator. Right, this will add more weight to it. I will set it to a sine wave, and again send it to the mixer, take the level all the way down and mix it in. This will play an octave down, and this adds lots and lots of weight if I mute this. Right? Now to add even more texture to this, again we will use noise. In this case, white noise, and I will set it to stereo just for fun, and this will modulate our filter just like we did in previous videos. Right, and this will add lots and lots of grit. Listen to this. Maybe I will zoom in a bit, you can see this better. Right, the noise goes to the modulation input of the cutoff here, and I have it at about, let's say, about 6. Right, and you can hear the grittiness here. Right, and now all what we need is some delay and reverb. I have here the Valhalla delay with the tape delay, and of course, Supermassive. And actually, before I play this, I will thank you for watching this video. Consider joining us on Patreon. Cheers.